We're going to be delayed with our outreach report because Peggy, unfortunately, all you police out there, don't stop her. She forgot her purse this morning, so she had to drive back to Bridgewater to get it. Which means she's probably hitting all the traffic at the college as we speak.
Yeah.
So she's going to be delayed a little bit. Everybody have a copy of this?
Yep.
Okay, leaf raking with the Bridgewater Raynham hockey team. The hockey team contacted us regarding yard work, and we were able to set up 12 residents with them and with other students supplied by them. And a total of 30 altogether were available for the project, which was undertaken on November 15th. And a sidelight of this is that they happen to be in the general area of the stone church, and the Reverend Tilby was getting out the stuff to do the Living Nativity. Mm-hmm. They were having a pretty bad time trying to haul them up out of the basement, and so it's only Betsy. We'll talk to her later. We found out that the kids were walking around. You know, these are hockey players.
Yeah.
And so they said, "Could you give us a hand?" And about 5 or 6 hockey players went downstairs in the basement and brought up the stuff for them. So they did double duty that day.
Well, that's nice.
Very nice.
Yeah, you can imagine how big these guys were. It was great. Blood pressure clinic with Long Meadow. A nurse from Long Meadow is going to start monthly blood pressure clinics here on the second Wednesday of the month. This free program is being tried out on that day, but it may change depending on public response. And I think it's starting at 9. Calendar. I believe it's starting at 9 that day. Yeah, 9 a.m. on that day. We may do it. Cheryl Hayes, who of course we remember donated the Wii set to us, she came to me a couple of weeks ago about this. We hope to do it on this day, may stay on that day. We may do 2 days a month, but we're going to be starting that beginning the 10th? Yeah, the 10th. Computer classes at the library. The computer classes have been discontinued to March. We're rethinking the way we do the program and what we offer. What we were finding is that people are coming to us with different needs now. A lot of them have their own computers, a lot of them have their own laptops, a lot of them have tablets. Their interests are changing, and the other problem we were having is that obviously it's a free program, and obviously people don't feel ownership, so they blow it off. We had 6 people signed up for our program in October, and nobody showed up. And so the next week, we went back, and the 6 people are still signed up because it's a 3-week program.
Yeah.
And a guy showed up who wasn't even signed up, and so we worked with him, but those other 6 people didn't come. So, and this has been happening on a regular basis. I mean, sometimes we would have a class, and we'd have 4 to 6 people. Everybody would show up for each of the 3 weeks. And then sometimes we'd have a class and nobody would show up, or 2 people would show up, or people would show up who hadn't signed up but had read about it. So I talked to Eden Ferguson, and we're just going to postpone it basically for the winter too. We're going to postpone it and rethink the way we're doing it. Because we definitely still want to do something. So we're just going to be looking at it. We're even thinking of maybe a one-on-one where people sign up to be one-on-one with us, one time. We don't know what Paul and I are talking about how we're going to handle it. We definitely want to continue with it, but it's up in the air right now as to what format it's going to be. Cable show. I appeared on a cable show with Don McKinnon and Pat Riley on November 13th to talk about growing up in Raynham and what it was like to come to work here after 13 years in Bridgewater. And it was funny because I think Don wanted it to be a forum for the North School because he kept saying to me, "Talk about the North School, talk about the North School." And I said, "All right, I'll get to it." And so he said, "Okay, when we go on," he said, "this is what we're going to do." And I said, "What do we do?" He said, "I want you to talk about growing up in North Raynham and going to the North School." I said, "Don, we'll talk about the North School." So finally the program's over. It was only a half an hour. And Don said, "We didn't get to talk much about the North School. Can you come back?" And I said, "I think we talked enough about the North School." It was really, because, of course, we're trying to save the North School from either demolition or whatever. And
they're going to take it down like the silos.
No, they're not going to take it down. What it looks like right now is that it's going to be used for storage. The thing right now is to use part of it for storage, and use it for either a museum or something to do with art, like an art gallery, an art museum, or something. So that's what the pursuit is right now. And I believe there's a meeting this week. Check. I don't know when this is going to be on, but check out there. I think there's a meeting this week about the North School and about the use of the North School. So check with the Selectman's office about that. Anybody who sees this, if you're interested in saving the North School and in finding something that will go in there that will be conducive to the type of building it is, because you know, it had been used up until 3 or 4 years ago by the Southbrook School. And so it has been used in the past. The tanks were removed from it, and the asbestos taken out. So it is ready for somebody to go in and give us some love. So hopefully it will remain standing. Because Kathleen and I have a long-standing love for that school, don't we, Kathleen?
Right.
Kathleen taught there for how many years?
Quite a few.
And I went to school there.
Principal
She was the principal, and I went to school there.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And so, as did Marcia,
Yeah, I
Sylvia,
hate to
Marcia
think of that
Ransbury.
being tossed aside.
Yeah, because
Very happy memories there.
so I hope it can be saved.
I hope it can be
That's
too.
that's what.
You know, we had that meeting and everything, what we're gonna do, and then nothing came of it.
They did clean out that stuff that they were supposed to clean out, but
Yeah.
other than that, nobody's. They had one group that was interested in doing it at school, and then that sort of petered out. So they're still looking for somebody to come in, and we hope that.
I hope it
We
can.
definitely hope.
Yes, we do.
Yes, that's why
Yes,
we're wearing
definitely.
purple today for the North School. Donations left outside. A wheelchair and a commode were left outside the building sometime during the first weekend in November. We moved on from rusted cans of food to durable medical goods. We're going to post signs discouraging this type of drop of durable medical goods because, you know, it happened on a weekend. Nobody's here. Can't even imagine what day. It was right, you know, in front of the door. Not that I'm thinking there were criminals out there, but I'm just afraid somebody might try to throw it through the window or, you know, break it up in the parking lot or something. So we're going to put a sign up discouraging people from doing that. So why it's never happened before, so it was just kind of unusual.
Maybe we could put it in our bulletin and also
Well,
a sign referring them to deliver it to
To
St.
St. Vincent. I think a sign on the door would be the idea because I think the people who are probably dropping it are not reading our bulletin. They're probably
Yeah.
people who are
Just wanna get rid of
they
it.
want to get rid of it, and so I think either in
Loved
the
one may have
newspaper.
passed away and they cleaned the
Yeah,
house. that kind of
exactly,
stuff.
exactly. So anyway, so we'll post something on that. Painting classes with Mara. Mara Castle is recovering wonderfully from her broken elbow and broken hip, and she plans on coming back early in December to resume teaching. We got a message this morning. She's going to be back this Friday to start teaching again. As you remember, Mara, who's our girl singer from the Old Kids on the Block, broke her elbow and has something like, I think it's 3 plates and 9 pins in it. And she broke her hip, but the hip was allowed to heal on its own, which it did. And being, you know, Mara, whom I love you, Mara, is like somebody out of a B movie from 1932. I mean, you know, Joan Blondell would have played her.
Yeah.
Or Barbara Stanwyck. She's a tough cookie. And she was discharged. She was discharged from her rehab within 3 weeks. She wasn't using a cane anymore. And her elbow, she has 85% mobility in it. And considering this happened the end of September, she's a remarkable person.
Yeah.
She's in her 80s, and she's a remarkable person to have healed that quickly. So
And everybody likes her.
and yeah, everybody likes her, and
It's
she
wonderful.
was chomping at the bit to come back, and so she will be back this Friday, and we're just really happy to have her. It's you know, it's just been great having
Who's
her.
it, Peggy?
No, Mara.
Oh, Mara.
Mara Castle. She's our painting teacher, so she will be back this Friday, December 5th. Shingles program with Wedgemere. Jody Dawson, the new director of admissions at Wedgemere, recently visited, and she wants to do some programming with us. The first will probably be a program about shingles in January. In the spring, a multi-part program about affordable nutrition is being assembled by them, by their department, because something I've always wanted to do, and it's so hard to find people available to do it. I want to do something on affordable nutrition for, a lot of people believe that you can't have affordable nutrition in terms of cooking for yourself. And what I want to do is find something that has like very few ingredients, but has fresh vegetables and a limited amount of meat, or different types of protein, and have something that people can do at home at a reasonable price. So that's what we're looking to do, that kind of nutrition program. Life Care of Raynham. Kathy Korski spoke to me recently at the facility about having programs with us. We're going to be discussing programs soon, but some of the suggestions she offered were a Valentine party at Life Care and a spring fling. She also said she wants to schedule at least one program every other month with us. So that's something we're going to be, Kathy's programming there has been in flux for a while, and that's why we haven't heard from her, but I went to their craft show, and they're going to be hopefully being able to do more stuff with us in the near future, and we're going to be meeting probably after the holidays, because she's pretty busy right now. The tree lighting. Park and Rec will be lighting the trees at the gazebo on December 6th from 3 to 4:30 p.m., and all are invited. That's right out here by the gazebo. You're probably going to be seeing them in the next few days, stringing up lighting and doing various things out there. Right out here in the gazebo. It's free and open to the public. And of course, we'll have our wreaths, big wreaths that are on our windows lit up for that occasion too. The other things, a couple of things that were late in coming in, so they're not in here. David Flaherty, our health agent, is going to be coming here on the 22nd of December, which is at the men's breakfast. He's going to be talking about winter safety, and not only tips, but options that are available for people in terms of winter safety. We hope that he and I have spoken in the past about doing programming. So this is just going to be something we want to do right now, so that's why it's piggybacked onto the breakfast. But we hope to be doing regular programming with him now and then also. Jen Pohl, Officer Jen Pohl, offered to do some programs with us here from the Raynham Police Department, and I'm going to be speaking with her about doing a couple of things. I thought Jim Donovan had told me, Chief Donovan had told me that he was going to assign her to us, but I've got to check on that. I'm not 100% sure about that, and I've got to check on it. But I believe that's what he told me at a department head meeting a few months ago. So we're going to be talking about just low-key stuff, maybe even coming in at a breakfast now and then to answer a couple of questions, and do standalone programs like David Flaherty will be doing. But, you know, that'll shake out as the months go by. Secret Santa, which we've been talking about in the past. As you saw the sign in front of the town hall, they're taking donations at the fire department for Secret Santa. They were at Walmart this weekend accepting donations for Secret Santa. Apparently it's going through the fire department now, and so we're going to be collecting things again. We already have, Betsy Travers has already donated 48 hand-knit stockings, Christmas stockings, that she gave to me the other day she came in. And a lot of people have been asking because they want to bring in toys and scarves and things. So we do have our box out there for Secret Santa. We are collecting for Secret Santa. If you want to come in during business hours, 9 to 3, Monday through Friday, we do have a box here for the Secret Santa program, which is going to be ongoing and through the fire department. And John and I visited Perkins the other day and got some supplies up there and got our first taste of the place, and learned a couple of things along the way.
Yeah.
And so we've started our Perkins adventure so far. It's a huge place. John told me it was huge. I was amazed at just how big it was. It was much bigger than I thought.
It's going to be 40 loading bays easily.
It's incredible. It's incredible. It's in the industrial park at the Standish Industrial Park. And I want to mention there's a couple of days I'm going to be taking off. So, and as you know, if you look at the bottom of the director's report, the senior center will be closing on December 24th and December 31st, as detailed in the union contract, on half days, and of course full days on December 25th and January 1st. So I'm going to be taking a half day on the 24th, a half day on the 31st, you know, making it a full day off, and a full day on the 26th, a full day on the 2nd of January. So that's 3 days. total.
You're gonna be out December 24th, the whole. Half day, the 26th, and what else? January?
A half day on, which ends up being a full day on the 31st of December,
Yeah, and full
and a
day.
full day on January 2nd.
Good.
And the holiday party, of course, this week, December 4th. The blood pressure clinic on the 10th. Holiday arrangements on December 11th. Oh, and I should add about the holiday arrangements.
Oh, yes.
I have a friend of mine, Ann Wood, with the Bridgewater Garden Club, and Ann has been my go-to person for years when I didn't know what I was doing with plants and gardening and things. And I called her up because I needed some more oasis to do the program. And not only is she supplying us with oasis, because they're having their green sale in Bridgewater on December 6th, 9 to 12, at the Bridgewater Senior Center, for those of you out there who would like to go. But they were buying oasis last week, so she's bringing me some blocks, and she's bringing me also the leftover cuttings that they have from that day. And she figured, why not? She's going to come and help. So she's going to be here on December 11th with us, because we got, I think, 17 people signed up. She's going to be coming on December 11th to help Sue Burns and I.
What is her name?
Ann Wood.
Ann.
And she's the president of the Bridgewater Garden Club. And she's going to be bringing us cuttings and berries and some decorations and a few ribbons and some blocks of oasis to do the program. So we thank her.
Well,
And
have you already signed up for that? The
17.
seniors?
17.
yeah, 17 people have signed up. So that's going to be this week. Lunch and a movie is going to be some form of a Christmas carol. I don't know what. The consensus was Mr. Magoo, but who knows. We're going to be doing that on December 18th. Don't laugh, John. You might be up there in Santa suit, so don't laugh. Don't laugh. I had a friend, who used to do Santa for us at the senior center in Bridgewater, and when he didn't want to do it anymore, you know what he did? Shaved his beard off. That's something to remind you of next year, perhaps.
Yeah, leave John
I
alone.
won't hit you this year.
I was a Santa at the elementary school for
Don't you have
years.
a costume? I thought you had a Santa
Yeah, I
suit.
do. When they did this Breakfast with Santa,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did that
Oh,
for
John
about
has a Santa
8-10
suit.
years.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah, I wore it.
Do
You
you?
once, didn't
Are
I?
you Mrs.
No.
Claus?
I made myself.
Oh my, we got a Mrs. Claus here.
Whoa.
Look at John, he's gonna run home and shave now.
Whoa.
No.
And the men's breakfast is December 22nd.
Hey, you talked about activities on the 6th.
Yeah.
The craft fair at the Merrill School is on December 6th
Yes.
also.
December
Anyone
6th.
who's
What time?
interested.
Do you know what time?
No, I don't. I should. 'Cause
We
my
have it
wife's
out
gonna
there
be
on
there
the-
all day.
We have
Oh,
the
wait a minute,
notice
we're getting
out
a
there.
signal.
Oh,
We're
it's
getting
It's
a
like
signal.
9 to 3 or something.
9 to
9 to 3.
Yeah.
Thank
9
you.
to 3 at the Merrill?
You filming that day?
Yeah.
9 at the Merrill?
I'm pretty sure it's the
Yeah,
Merrill.
Merrill.
Yeah, Merrill.
9 to 3 at the Merrill. So what you can do is that since Bridgewater's only 9 to 12, go to Bridgewater. It's right on the road. Go straight to the senior center in Bridgewater. It's 10 minutes from the school. And then you can come back and go to the other thing. The best of all worlds.
December 6th.
It should be Raynham first, then go to Bridgewater.
No, because believe me, you can't, you have to get there. There's a line at the door to get in there to get the stuff. So, unless you're me who goes in and goes, I can make that.
So is December 18th when we make things?
December
11th.
December
11th.
11th. Yes.
And you have to sign up for that?
Yes. Okay, I think that's it.
Okay, make a motion to accept the director's report.
All
Second
those in
it.
favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So voted. Excuse me. All right, we had the treasurer's report outreach. Director's report, we've had correspondence, any?
We have a couple of things that just came in recently. I don't know if you want to go to it or not. The annual holiday party at Life Care of Raynham is Thursday, December 4th. It sounds more like a corporate party than anything else. It doesn't sound like some of the things we've been invited to in the past. Come and enjoy the holiday season and celebrate 20 years. It's a 20-year anniversary with a champagne toast and guest speakers. So it sounds more like a corporate occasion
They were
than
saying
a residence type party. So that came in recently. And Sam Sutter, the district attorney, has contacted me, his office, about having a,
I don't want to speak about that, why?
what?
If the district attorney contacted you.
It has nothing to do with
Without
Whitey
him-
Bulger,
without
don't
him-
worry.
without
Whitey
him.
Bulger, it has nothing to do, Whitey's gone, we don't have to worry about that anymore. The district attorney contacted me, because he wanted to put, a brief 100 to 250 word, blurb in the newsletter, 4 times a year. So, which is fine. And the other thing they wanted to do was do some programming with us. So I contacted Eric Poulin, who is his assistant, the program manager for the Community Affairs Division. And I emailed him, and we communicated back and forth. So they're looking into maybe doing some programs with us in the spring, because let's face it, winter is so problematic. But we're looking at March or April to do a program with the district attorney's office. And basically what we're looking at is elder abuse prevention and scams right now. The law enforcement service providers and caretakers working together to prevent elder abuse. So we're going to be talking about that. I'm going to save this, Grace. Can you get a copy of that?
Yeah, get that before we leave.
And I should add that there was something I saw this morning that interested me from Brockton, the Brockton newsletter, senior newsletter. It's a self-defense program for seniors, and it's basically a program to foster awareness and to not be a victim. And I've got an email out to Janice Fitzgerald, who's the director, because I was kind of interested. I had never seen anything like this program that they're going to be doing the end of this week. It's on Friday, about how to keep yourself safe in terms of self-defense, how to avoid certain situations, and how to react when those situations come up. So I'm waiting to hear from her on that program and how she got in touch with these people, and how much it is, if there is a cost to it.
Is this through the Brockton COA?
Yes, Brockton COA is having a program on Friday. A private vendor is coming in to do a program on safety for seniors and also self-defense, but in a way where it heightens awareness of your situation and what's going on around you. So, that's, again, Janice Fitzgerald at Brockton, so I'm waiting to hear from her about that. It sounds pretty interesting, the concept of it. You know, we hear all the time about how to avoid certain types of criminal activity, but nobody really talks about the idea of self-defense and the idea of protection. And so I think that it could be an interesting topic, depending on how it's handled.
Yeah.
So we're going to be looking into that with Janice.
Okay, we're gonna go back to we're gonna go back to outreach.
Excuse me.
Hi,
Hi,
Kathleen.
we're ready.
All right. I haven't passed these out yet, so just take one and pass them down. And one for Kathleen. You can read this one, although this is mine.
Okay, yeah, all right, I'll give it back to you.
Okay.
One sheet, right?
Yep, just one sheet. I know it's a lot of writing. Sorry. I'm very wordy.
You do it very well.
So, the top line is the total visits. As you can see, there were 43 visits this month. That's a lot of visits. As we go down, I'll just summarize for you the paragraphs I've written. I was trying to think about what to write about, and I thought, well, I'll write a little bit description of what I do on a typical visit for a Shine visit. And it's the 26 of the 43 visits were Shine visits. So, and I haven't seen as many fuel assistants as I thought, because I think most of the people that are eligible for it, a lot of them have already gotten it. So that's okay, because so many of them were Shine visits. And my first comment was that the visits often take more than a couple of hours. A typical meeting starts out with a description of the two ways you can supplement your insurance. One of them being a Medicare Advantage plan and the other one being a Medigap plan. And I explained to them the difference between these two things. It's the first step, because if they don't understand the two ways they can supplement, they can't go on from there. So they need to understand how Medicare works. And then the client has to make a decision, and this often takes quite a lot of time. But however, after they do, I usually screen them for income and savings, because a lot of I think I mentioned before, there are benefits sometimes that they have no idea they may be eligible for. And these benefits include paying for prescription drugs. There's a lot of help for paying for prescription drugs. And the Medicare B payment that everyone has deducted from Social Security is you can often get that back if you're income and savings eligible. And then free hospital care for bills that aren't paid for by your insurance. Sometimes people are eligible for that. Prescription Advantage. Most people are eligible for Prescription Advantage unless they make a pretty good, a decent, maybe over, I think it's over $60,000, and they're not eligible anymore, but it's pretty liberal. And of course Medicaid, and many people are eligible for Medicaid, don't realize they are. Then after that we apply online for benefits, if they're eligible for any, or we make out a paper application depending on what they see that they're eligible for and what they want. And I wrote down this only the beginning, because usually then you log on to Medicare.gov and do a drug search based on this list of drugs that they bring you. And a lot of people have a lot of drugs. Some people have had 20 and 25 drugs, so it takes a lot of listing, and you have to spell it right and all that kind of stuff. But the computer shows with a punch of your finger which of the approximately 16 or 18 drug plans that are offered in this area is the best plan based on their drugs. So the computer tells you that. Fortunately, we don't have to figure it out ourselves, because it would take hours and hours. Then we print out the possible plans, and their plans with deductibles and their plans without deductibles. Then we put in pharmacies. There might be a preferred pharmacy or a pharmacy that isn't so preferred, and the price goes down if you find the right pharmacy. So meanwhile, this client's head is full of all this information, and we're all exhausted. So a lot of times I have to make a second appointment, because it just gets to be really ridiculous. And a lot of times people will say to me, in fact, most of the time they end the visit by saying to me, why can't the government make this more easy? Why isn't it easier to do this? And I don't have an answer. I just say, well, it is what it is, and we'll deal with it as it comes. So
Just refer them to the income tax form.
yeah.
Another example.
Yeah.
So this is sort of a typical Shine visit, and it can take from sometimes over 2 hours to do a Shine visit.
I'm sure.
But
Information.
it's gotten to be part of my life these days. So, other than that, the month has been very, very stuffed with Shine visits. And George has done more than I've listed 26 visits. George probably has done 10. So there've probably been 36 people here that have needed some kind of counseling or wanted to change their program.
George is really great.
Oh, he is. He's wonderful.
People like him.
So, are there any questions or comments?
And of course, we should add that Peggy and George at select times have people come in who spend sometimes 2 or 3 hours with
Yeah.
them. In fact, George, there was one person who came in at 9 o'clock in the morning, and at 1 o'clock in the morning, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, they finally left.
Yeah.
So they were here for 4 hours.
Well, that's why I make 2 appointments.
So it can be a long, drawn-out process.
Very arduous and long, and of course people have a lot of questions. Well, what happens if I go to Rite Aid? Well, what if I go to Walmart? What would the price be? So then you're back on the computer and you're logging on Walmart and you're logging on Rite Aid and you're comparing.
But that becomes a function of your insurance coverage, isn't it? No matter where you go.
There are preferred pharmacies where the price is lower.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
But
Yeah.
I mean, that it's, again, it's a function of your insurance policy.
Yes.
If they list them as preferred.
But they're choosing a policy now. The whole idea is they're gonna choose one,
Oh, okay.
so, or
That's what
switch
you're
it
saying. Yeah.
to something better, quote unquote.
And open enrollment ends December 7th.
December 7th, yeah.
Next week.
Next week, hooray.
Give you a little relief.
Well, they'll still
Merry
come
Christmas.
and we'll still, people are turning
After this.
65 all the time, so they come
Sure.
in. Okay. Good. That's it.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tim.
Very good. Your reports are always good. Director's
And you
report.
won. You did.
Well, do I have a question?
We'll just stay.
Okay. I have a client at 11. but
Okay, I
that's
already did
okay.
my director's report.
Oh,
but
I missed
I just wanted you to be here for the
Sure,
ARP thing.
sure.
ARP what?
Taxes,
What's that?
old business,
Yeah, we're gonna do old business.
old business.
Down here. No, wait, that's not
Yeah,
it.
we're on.
Oh, we're doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, excuse me.
That's
Okay. The ARP taxes.
okay. They're going to be coming here starting on in February 5th, and it's going to be every Thursday. It's in the December newsletter. We'd like to remind people that we're not taking sign-ups until January. I want the public to be aware it's going to be here, but we are not taking appointments until January 5th. So starting January 5th, you can call in and start making your appointments to have taxes done. They're going to be here February 5th, beginning February 5th, and every Thursday until mid-April. What I wanted to mention was that we were handed a sheet this year about the tax assistance, and Peggy, did you find anything that the part of it says seniors with full year enrollment in Medicare? Did you find anything that needs to be?
I don't
Anybody
remember
needs to be
because I
aware
read
of-
it so long ago, to
Okay,
be honest
that
with you.
if anybody needs to be aware of the changes,
Seniors?
yeah.
Not that I know
Um,
of.
But what people need to do is that they need to call for an appointment, and when they do call for an appointment, they'll be told what materials to bring. Again, we should remind the public that these are simple taxes. These are simple, they take a half an hour at the most. These are simple taxes. Do not bring in a milk crate full of your investments. We can't do that. These are simple taxes. It's obviously a free service. And we have had people in the past come in with milk crates full of their tax material and you know, who own like 3 apartment houses or something. So it isn't that. It's a simple tax form that we're gonna be doing.
And the group that comes in to do this are
AARP.
the art,
George.
art group.
AARP. Yeah, George, Kathy Paiva and George Phillips return for their yearly session with us. And but it is the AARP free tax service, and again, it's a simple tax form. It's nothing complicated. It's nothing you know.
This really just says that everybody under the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare, everybody is required to have minimum essential coverage, and then it just says everybody with Medicare has it already. They have, but if you're not under Medicare, you have to prove that you have minimum essential coverage with your taxes, if you can believe such a thing.
And so when you call here, we'll tell you the material you have to bring, including health insurance coverage information, and which I think is a new thing this year. I don't remember them doing that last year.
No, I don't think they did. That's
Yeah,
this
that
That's,
is a new
that's
thing.
new to the federal term, but for Massachusetts, you've
Yeah.
been providing proof of health insurance
Health
for a
insurance.
number of
For
years.
a long
now.
time.
Yeah, but
Ever
not
since
for the
Romney,
feds, not for the
Right.
federal.
Mass-
So when you call here, we'll tell you what kind of
Yeah.
documents you do need. But again, we're not taking calls until January 5th. We didn't, there was nothing else about that we talked about, okay.
Okay, so that's it for old business. That's good.
Yeah, the Lions
Very
Club
good.
donation we did.
Yep, so we go to new business now?
Yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
we go to business, Christmas dinner.
Christmas dinners.
Christmas
Betty and I haven't
dinners.
talked about this yet. Betty, is there a provision for Christmas dinners through
I
the,
haven't heard yet.
okay,
Maybe hasn't been.
you haven't heard about, the
I
Halloween,
haven't heard, no, and we just finished, did you talk about the Thanksgiving?
No, I'm going to talk about
Oh,
it
good,
now.
all right, you talk.
I had a wonderful weekend after talking to these people. The first, you want to just hear some of the comments? Because I always call the next day to see. It said, dinner was great, and I wish you all happy holidays. Hope we get some more later. That means another dinner. And it said, wonderful. The girls are polite and nice. They wanted to leave a donation, but they wouldn't take any money. And then some people on Orchard Street that you know well. Food, great. Had 2 dinners. And they wanted to give a donation, and the children were excellent, they said.
so we should mention that this is the Coraline Cronin, dinner.
Oh,
Meals.
that-
From the Coyle Cassidy,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. That's what, the Thanksgiving meal, that's what we're talking about.
And then this gentleman, he lives by himself. He said he sits there from 9 o'clock until noontime for the food to arrive.
Oh,
This is his 3rd year.
Oh,
And then we had a new family, and they were just wonderful, the food. And they had enough for 2 meals also.
That's good.
And they'll be looking for more at Christmas.
great.
And then these people, they're still handicapped and so forth. They never get anything good. They each got pies with the meals.
Pie?
Pies.
Pies.
That's
Nice.
good.
And one lady, this woman, she loved lemon pie, not thinking she'd ever have one. Lemon meringue, and she said she ate the whole thing and she has diabetes.
Uh-oh. You could have a problem.
What are we doing to these
What are you
people?
doing? And then, this little lady, she said, was excellent, very pleased, and thankful for everything we do. And this one, she went on, and she ended up telling me she was a Mormon, and she's very lonely and so forth, and she hopes that we can have her come here someday, just so she can see everybody. She's heard so much about Council on Aging, but she'd have to come on Gatra. But she said it's wonderful that we have a place like this. And then the saddest one of all, I left from the end. Yvonne took this the day before the dinners arrived. So I got Peggy and put her on the hot seat, so she sent the information over. And lo and behold, she got the dinner. Well, she's going to be a friend forever because she didn't have any food in the house. And she's been sick for 2 weeks, hasn't been able to get out, no food. She said she had some canned soup. And when these dinners came, she got a whole pie too,
Oh, that's
squash
good.
pie. She said it was just like pennies from heaven.
Well, what I'll do is I'll give her a call too and tell her about, the food bank for one thing.
Yeah, I told her about that.
And Gatra and
Yeah.
make sure she has family and stuff.
Well, I'll follow through on these people. They had my phone number. They all asked what my home number was, and I said, these people need help, so
Is she applying?
I give it
No,
out.
not yet.
Not yet, okay.
No, but
You know, normally the
Yeah.
food pantry doesn't deliver meals. and
No,
stuff,
no,
but-
no.
But there are, we do have some people that volunteer, if you would, to bring food out to,
Yeah.
so that nobody goes hungry.
And John, are you doing, is there a Christmas dinner similar to Thanksgiving dinner or what?
No, not like we did for
Not
Thanksgiving.
like you do for
We
Thanksgiving?
did 120 dinners
Okay.
this year.
Wow,
A lot of
Wow.
turkeys.
wow.
And
That
we,
is fun.
A
and
lot
we
of very heavy turkey, take my word
yes,
for it.
every frozen turkeys.
And frozen, yes.
So what I'm understanding is the Coraline Cronin dinner for Christmas isn't,
Well, they usually do it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine they
it hasn't been
wouldn't do it.
mentioned yet, it hasn't been,
No, I
they haven't
haven't.
contacted you yet?
We
Would
already
you-
signed up. We already signed up.
They already
Okay.
signed it.
Yeah.
Okay.
With the
We'll
board.
be getting the information, and
would the board like me to send a thank you letter
That's
to,
right.
Oh, yeah.
again,
I
I
believe you did
did
that
it
last
yeah.
year.
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely,
that'd be
yeah.
very nice.
Dr. Reed
Dr.
said-
And
the
also,
doctor that
Yeah.
does it.
also we really need, since today is December 1st, we really need to find out about sign-ups for the
For
Christmas.
Christmas, yeah, soon.
Yeah,
I'll find out from Tracy. I'll
Okay.
call
I know
her.
all these people will take. I
And a
just
lot of
think that,
volunteers sign if we want for Christmas.
Okay,
We sign the book already,
okay, so they must be
so
doing
we
it.
must be doing it.
Yeah, I think they will.
Okay.
I don't think we would have heard if they weren't.
Okay.
you know, there's one thing I want to add to it. You know, we have BES, they know who's getting these Meals on Wheels. And when I delivered Meals on Wheels, you knew if they need help. I called Joyce and she'd get help for them. Because that's what we did back then, helping people. But now we can't get the people on BES. They won't tell us who's getting Meals on Wheels. And I think it's very, very bad that we don't do that.
Well, that's
Because-
not, that's not our fault.
Not our fault.
Well, it's not our fault, but I think we should get on BES and tell them
Well,
that.
they have been asked several times to do that. They
We've
just,
asked
they
them.
just will not do it.
It's a confidential,
Yeah.
confidentiality issue.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they say, and I can see that. but
However, we should,
But we did
Why
it for
don't-
years and we
But-
never got.
but-
Why don't they ask the people if they mind, though?
They can, they do.
They
and,
do.
And contact
And
the
yes.
local
and we
COAs,
should
you
add,
know?
but we should add that there is a sheet now that we do receive quite often where they do, and they never made it available before, it's only been about the last year and a half,
Frail elders.
frail elders, where they do sign off and say, yes, they can send their information to us, and we do get that quite frequently from Bristol Elder Services. So we do have better contact and better
Rapport,
information
yeah.
than we did have for Peggy to
But
be
still,
aware of
it's
these
not
people.
good
Now,
enough.
do you know if any of those people are on the frail elder list, those particular people? Or
Yes,
no?
a couple,
Some are, but not all of them,
no.
right, so.
But,
That's how
But
you
I
lo-
think it's
that's how you
unfair
lose
that these
people,
people get
Well,
dinners and
that
they
list
must
is
need help.
also confidential, the frail elder,
Yes.
because they have to sign for me to give that frail elder list to the police and fire in case of emergency. So
Well, they didn't,
you have to be so careful today about
yeah.
confidentiality.
but if people are going without food or help and so forth, we
Well,
should.
yeah, but Betty, the other side of that too is that if they're already involved with Bristol Elder Services, through
Yeah.
Meals on Wheels, Bristol Elder Services is certain, they have to do an assessment, so Bristol Elder Services is certainly aware of their condition and their needs. The only part of that equation that isn't there is that Peggy doesn't have an awareness
Yeah.
of these people. But certainly, it's not like they're going without services. They already have Meals
I
on
don't
Wheels.
mean a service,
So,
I mean-
yeah, I mean, we're not aware of it, but certainly Bristol Elder Services is aware of their situation.
But they're obviously not getting Thanksgiving dinner through Bristol Elders.
No,
No.
They're
No,
obviously not getting that.
Yeah, but
That's
the-
a different program.
It's a different
Well,
program.
I understand that, but I'm just
I'm-
saying, there's still a lack there, there's still a need for these people.
Well, I'm also in
Some-
touch with
Somehow, I wish we could come up with a, you know,
Bristol
to solve
Elder.
that.
Bristol Elder has an outreach worker in, a case manager in this area. Her name is Karen Lambert.
Mhm.
And I'm in touch with her all the time regarding immediate needs of cases that would need me to go and see and so forth and so on. So, it isn't as if we have no contact. We just don't have that list of people that are on Meals on Wheels,
Yeah.
that's all.
Well, what about if we ask Bristol Elders to make available to their people, that we are offering this, to the Thanksgiving dinners and the Christmas dinners, and for them to have a sign up and then send it to
Well,
us.
Meals on Wheels does Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
They give a Thanksgiving dinner. So all their clients in every town will get a Thanksgiving Meals on Wheels.
Well, I don't understand that
It's a
if these
separate
people.
program. It's a separate program.
Yeah, I see what she means. We could do that.
Whatever.
We could do that.
We could get, if they sign off on it, yeah.
the Meals on Wheels is different than the meal that get from,
Right.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
But
Not
they'd
even-
have
it's
to
like-
sign off, and
Yeah.
those people would have to sign off on it to have the.
That's what I was
Is
saying.
that
Have
what
Bristol
Well-
Elders tell them that we're offering these dinners, and if they want to just have the people sign up, and then Bristol Elders could just contact us with that list because they've already given permission to be on it for these dinners.
Right. Let me talk to nutrition over at Bristol Elder. They have a nutrition department, and I can talk to them about it. I will.
Okay.
Write it down.
Okay? All right. Did we talk about the Lions Club donation?
Yes, we
Yeah,
did.
any
Yeah,
other
we did
old
that.
business? All right, go on to new business, Christmas dinners.
Yep, we just did
Just
that.
did that.
And so, board reorganization.
You mean election of officers is
Yeah.
what we're talking about. So nominations are open, I gather?
Mhm.
The place is silent.
Yeah,
What happened?
I nominate Betty Thompson for treasurer.
Seconded.
I don't mind doing it for one more year.
Then I guess I'll nominate that the existing officers all stay in office. That's
I
my
would-
nomination.
I would prefer to not be the secretary.
Okay.
But you do such a great job,
I
Grace.
know, she
You're
does.
such a perfectionist about it.
You are.
There's no one else that can take this for a year.
Let me make sure I understand. If you give up that post, you give up your position as a board member?
No,
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 no.
no.
She remains as a board, she's not an officer, she remains a board.
Okay,
No.
just one. Good.
Board
Okay.
So,
Can you nominate
anybody
an
interested?
Can an
Yeah,
associate be
I-
nominated?
Yeah.
Pardon?
Can an associate be nominated for that?
Well, that's
No.
why I asked the
No.
question.
No, I
Yeah,
believe you
you usually do.
Oh.
board member.
He voted the same one stay, but you
But
really
she doesn't
don't
want to.
I really don't want it.
Mm.
What do you
I've
want
done
to
it
do?
for, what, 4 years now?
What do you want to do on the board?
Nothing.
Just be a member, right?
Nothing?
be another member.
I could be like vice chairman if Barbara's not gonna be able to maintain her position.
So no one's interested in being the secretary.
Do you know,
Well,
Well, Madam
stay on for,
Director, what do you
you're almost
suggest?
there for the end of the year,
I'll stay on
until,
one more year and that's
till
it.
June, the end of June.
Till the end of June.
Thank you, that's very nice of you.
Thank you, Grace.
All right, so back to my nomination that all the officers stay in place. Are there any seconds to that?
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Can we just have a roll call of who those officers are though, and their positions?
Okay. Kathleen is president. Barbara is vice, not president, chairman, I'm sorry. Barbara is vice chairman.
Betty is treasurer.
Betty is treasurer.
Grace is.
Grace is secretary.
For a period of 1 year?
Yeah.
Or
That's
is it
usually
1 year
how
or
we do
until-
it. It's
Until
1 year.
reorganization, and when, we probably should say, does the board want to conduct a reorganization at the end of the fiscal year, which would be June?
June, I was
So
gonna say, that's when we normally
the-
do it.
So do you want to do the June meeting as a reorganization?
I was
Yeah.
thinking that
Making the
maybe,
I'm sorry.
maybe John could be co-chairman with Kathleen.
I don't.
The next, we'll talk about it next year.
Well, we don't know
but-
about Barb,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I mean, co-chairman
we'd,
for
in
president.
June, we'd vote again.
Yeah,
Be
in
effective
June,
for
so
July
basically
1st.
6 months
Yeah.
we'll
Be
hold the
doing it again.
reorganization again, yes.
Well, I think we are reappointed at the
Into June.
end of June.
Your terms expire in June.
Right, with the fiscal year.
That's why I say we do it then, and then it's
Yeah,
effective
so
July
the June,
1st.
so the June meeting, you can reorganize again.
Okay.
Because you and I were just renewed
Yeah.
in June 4th, 2014.
So you need to vote on, those are two separate votes. The nominations, vote on the nominations, and then a vote on the reorganization in
Yeah.
June.
We really should have a list of when everybody's terms expire.
It's,
I was never given, I have my
If you-
own, I
if you-
know it's June of
if you
15.
have the town report book, it's in there, or you can look it up online
Yeah.
on the town website. As a matter of fact.
Is that all settled now?
Do we have two votes on that?
It was voted and seconded.
Seconded.
I haven't heard a
I
call.
didn't hear a
Roll
vote.
call.
All those in favor, please.
Aye.
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 Opposed?
And now a second
Thank you.
vote on reorganization of the board at the June meeting at the end of the fiscal year.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
It would really be July, but it goes through to June 30th. Our first meeting.
Yeah, but we vote in June and it takes effect July
Oh,
1st.
July 1st.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Okay, do we have any other new business or anything for executive session?
I have something for new business. Do we want to do a car show again next year? Because if we
I thought
do, we
we
gotta
should.
pick a date
Yeah,
now.
how are you about that? Are you
I don't have a problem with that. It's, you know, it's, I don't have a problem with it right now. Obviously, I don't know all the dates of all the car shows next year to see if it conflicts with anything. I do know that we want to stay away from Mother's Day weekend.
Right,
Because
right.
that killed us this year.
Did you, your format next year, do you want to do Corvairs? Do you want to open it up? I mean, how do you want to?
Well, we opened it up for everybody this year. It just happened that, you know, the only majority of the people who came were from my Corvair club as a favor to me. But I've gotten one call from Dave from, I think it's the Model T Club.
Mhm.
Was that guy's name Dave?
Yeah,
Anybody
oh
know?
yeah. The guy
He
who-
called me, he said he's putting together, they maintain a list of all car shows in the area,
Mhm.
and he wanted to know when we were gonna have ours this year, for me to call him, so he'll publicize it on his website, which is good. And the majority of the comments that I heard in terms of why people didn't come was because there was the big show up at
Yeah,
the Comcast Center
yeah.
that weekend. So, if you look at the calendar,
Mhm.
Mother's Day weekend is weekend of the 9th. There is a Saturday before that, the 2nd, if you want to do it then,
2nd
of May.
make sure that
This is
everyone's
May
partial.
now.
of May.
Well,
Yeah.
again, all the car clubs have not posted their shows yet,
Oh,
but
yeah,
I
maybe
know
we should
of one that would keep me from being here, and that's the 16th of May. There's a Corvair show up in New Hampshire that I always attend. I'm a member of that club as well. So there's the 2nd of May, the 23rd, and
Isn't would the 23rd be Memorial Day weekend though?
I don't think so. Is it?
I
Yes,
think
it
that'd be
is.
Memorial
Yeah,
Day
it
Yeah,
is.
yeah.
That's good.
So the
So what
second
about
would
the
be
30th?
it.
The 30th, I'm not available on the
Well,
Oh,
and
30th. I have a
the
wedding that day.
23rd, the 23rd, if that is Memorial Day weekend, then we'd be doing the parade again. So.
Right.
Well,
So
that's
probably
it.
the second.
Second's fine by me. What does
May
everybody think?
2nd, now, or would you,
May
May
2nd.
second.
May
May
2nd.
2nd, yeah.
May 2nd.
So, COA car show. And we'll do it, what times did we do last time?
Oh,
Did we do 10 to 1?
Something like
I
that?
think it was
Was it
10 to 1.
What, but they signed in earlier? Didn't
Yeah, they could
sign
start
in
signing in at 9.
Yeah,
right,
was
I
that
think
somewhere?
that's the way.
All right. Well, just so we get a date, so I can get it
Yeah.
out there, and we can talk later about what we want to do in terms of, you know, as far as
Yeah.
music. If that band's not available again, I can
Oh, and
certainly
then,
play
and
the
then
songs
maybe
from
the
the.
Lions Club too can do the hot dog.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that would be
contact the
nice.
Lions Club
Yeah.
about that.
And then the other thing is too is that this year, did you want to set them up in a different place this year? Do you want to?
Well, they needed power, and that's where the power was, right there by that pole sticking out of the ground.
The cars?
Oh,
No, I
not
mean
the car, oh, I thought you meant the
No,
Lions
no,
Club, we were
I
talking
mean
about the
like-
Lions Club.
I mean, like,
The only thing
Tony,
I'd do
okay?
with the cars is I'd
Okay,
move
let me
them
get
closer.
Yeah, closer
We
to.
were kind of far away. But I didn't know what to expect car-wise, so I made sure we had enough room, but,
So you're definitely going to do it May 2nd?
yep,
If it rains, what happens?
we get wet, no. If it rains, typically rain dates are the following day. I mean, we could always say, what's the 3rd? I can't do the 3rd. Now you're in the car season, and I'm not available on the 3rd. We do a spring brunch on the 3rd.
So we're doing the second.
So if
I-
second, if it rains, I don't know, let me think on
Don't
what we
let
could
it
do.
rain.
Yeah, don't let it rain.
The second.
Think positive, it's not going to
Right.
rain.
Well, you could do it the second weekend in June because the graduations are usually the first weekend.
would be the
Well,
13th.
when's Father's Day?
You're right, you're right,
When's
that's Father's Day
Father's
weekend.
Day.
And there are at least
Yeah,
I thought Father's Day was
Six.
the 20th, the 21st.
I don't know.
Usually
Father,
later.
Flag Day is the 14th, Father's Day is the 21st, you're right. That's Flag Day weekend, the 13th. Yeah, but I mean, I can think of at least 6 shows around that time period that
You know,
go
why
on.
don't we
They're all
go,
over the
why
place.
don't we go with the second and just hope?
And just hope, yeah.
Yeah.
We'll, as we get closer, we'll see.
Okay, and anything else to bring up?
Sounds good.
I just wanted to bring up, maybe you have talked about it at the last meeting, I don't know, but, and I know postcards were sent out, I don't know anything about it, but that assisted living place that new place in Raynham, does anybody know anything about it?
The one up on
And
138?
did they contact you at all, Liz?
No, well, they're still building it.
Yeah, I know, but they've already sent out postcards for it. I got postcards for it.
Oh,
I don't know why, I don't
they're-
need
they're
assisted
still-
living yet.
They're still building it. I don't think
Yeah.
they've even picked a grand opening time yet.
Oh, see, I thought they had postcards.
Where is it
said
gonna be?
something.
Oh,
Really?
it's,
I didn't see that.
you know where the
Did you have
Trukey's is? The Trukey's factory, the warehouse and everything?
Distribution
RF
points,
Owens,
RF Owens.
RF Owens,
Right where the ramp is from 495, it's back there.
Oh,
yeah.
It's the same access road.
Yeah, when you turn in their driveway, you take a quick
Yeah.
right.
Well, I'm sure they'll contact you when it's ready
It's
to roll.
huge. They're not
Okay.
fast.
Yeah, because we've been talking about it at
Same
department
way.
head meetings and it's
Okay.
not really
For that.
anything new.
Okay. It looks like it's pretty built though, have you seen it? It's,
I've seen it from the outside, yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's-
I don't
yeah.
think the interior is
Right.
anywhere near done yet.
Okay. So we don't
Okay.
need to know anything about that yet.
anything else to bring up? No, if somebody wants to move the meeting,
Move to adjourn.
I'll second it.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.